Do you feel more tired after exercising than you used to? Does it take longer to catch your breath when climbing stairs? Are you dismissing these changes as just normal aging? Then watch this video till the end. Because when you ignore these little warning signs, something crazy happens to your heart. Over 550,000 Americans develop heart failure every year, and shockingly, 80% don't realize it's happening until it's too late. But here's the part that will blow your mind. Some of these cases aren't from lack of exercise, but from the wrong type of exercise. I've discovered something that challenges everything we've been told about exercise and heart health. There's one specific type of exercise that millions of people over 60 are doing right now, thinking it's making them healthier when it could actually be increasing their heart failure risk by up to 40%. Let that sink in. 40% increased risk from something many people are doing daily. Why? Because the latest research reveals a shocking thing. The same exercise routines we're told will save our hearts might actually be damaging them. And if you're over 60, this could be the most important video you watch this year. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell right now, because what I'm about to reveal about exercise and heart failure could save your life or someone you love. Heart failure affects over 6.5 million Americans right now, with seniors over 60 making up nearly 80% of new cases. But here's what's truly alarming. When researchers studied emergency room visits, they found that most people experiencing heart failure had been dismissing symptoms for an average of 6 months before seeking help. What exactly is heart failure? It's not your heart suddenly stopping. That's a heart attack. Heart failure is when your heart muscle becomes too weak or too stiff to pump blood effectively. Think of it as your heart's engine losing power gradually until it can't meet your body's demands. Why should this terrify you? Because heart failure is now the #1 reason people over 65 end up in the hospital. And unlike other heart conditions, once you develop heart failure, your 5-year survival rate drops to just 50%. For decades, doctors have prescribed exercise as the ultimate heart medicine. And we're right. Regular moderate exercise reduces heart disease risk by 35%, lowers blood pressure, and can add years to your life. But what happens when good advice goes wrong? People think if some exercise is good, more must be better. And that's where the danger begins. Recent groundbreaking research followed over 25,000 people for 12 years and discovered something that shocked the medical community. People engaging in high-intensity, long-duration exercise, marathon running, ultra-cycling, extreme HIIT classes, showed a 60% higher rate of atrial fibrillation, a dangerous, irregular heartbeat that dramatically increases heart failure risk. A 2021 study published in the European Heart Journal. Why? This is because your heart, like any muscle, can be overworked to the point of damage. When you push it beyond its limits repeatedly, especially after 60, you're not strengthening it, you're breaking it down. Let that sink in. This study literally means exercising too much was worse than not exercising at all for seniors. Yes, it's very shocking. Those 90-minute spin classes, hour-long high-intensity boot camps, or training for marathons and triathlons after age 60 poses a very serious risk to your heart. What makes this so dangerous is that people doing these exercises feel invincible. They think, I can run 10 miles, so my heart must be healthy. But inside their chest, their heart muscle is being pushed beyond its recovery capacity, week after week, creating the perfect storm for future heart failure. This brings us to the critical question. What's actually happening inside your heart when you exercise too intensely? When you push your heart rate above 170 beats per minute for extended periods, which happens during extreme fitness classes, your heart muscle starts working in overdrive, pumping 3 to 4 times harder than normal. For a few minutes, this is fine, but when you maintain these extreme levels for 60, 90, or 120 minutes repeatedly, your heart begins to remodel itself, and not in a good way. Why? Because prolonged high-intensity exercise causes your heart's upper chambers, called the atria, to stretch and dilate beyond their normal capacity. Imagine stretching a rubber band to its breaking point over and over again. Eventually, it loses its elasticity and develops weak spots. Advanced cardiac imaging studies now show that people who engage in years of extreme endurance exercise develop scarring or fibrosis in their heart muscle. This scarred tissue disrupts your heart's electrical system, leading to dangerous irregular rhythms that can trigger sudden cardiac events. These changes are often irreversible. Once your heart tissue becomes scarred, it doesn't heal, even if you completely stop the extreme exercise. This is why we're seeing lifelong athletes in their 60s and 70s suddenly developing serious heart problems despite being in great shape. The constant stress also causes your heart to become stiff and inflexible, a condition called diastolic dysfunction. Your heart loses its ability to relax and fill properly with blood between beats, which is often the first step toward heart failure. If you're over 60, you need to pay extra attention to this video because age automatically puts you in a higher risk category for exercise-induced heart problems. And this is because after 60, your heart naturally becomes less flexible. Your blood vessels stiffen and your recovery capacity decreases significantly. But age isn't the only red flag. If you have high blood pressure, even if it's controlled with medication, you're walking a tightrope. High blood pressure means your heart is already working harder than normal just to pump blood through your system. Adding extreme exercise is like pressing the gas pedal on a car that's already overheating. Diabetes multiplies your risk even further. High blood sugar damages blood vessels over time, making your cardiovascular system more vulnerable to the stress of intense exercise. Many diabetics feel fine during normal activities, so they assume that they can handle marathon training or high-intensity workouts, not realizing their hearts are already compromised. Former athletes face unique dangers too. If you were very active in your youth but took years off, your mind remembers what your body used to handle, but your heart has aged along with the rest of you. Jumping back into intense training at 65 is like trying to drive a 30-year-old car at highway speeds without checking if the engine can handle it. But perhaps the highest risk group of all are people who have silent heart disease. Those with no symptoms but already have some atrial blockage or heart muscle stiffness. They feel fine during normal activities, so they assume intense exercise is safe, not knowing their hearts are already operating at maximum capacity just to maintain normal function. If any of these risk factors describe you, please share this video with your family and friends. They need to know what you're learning right now. The question becomes, how do you know if your heart is sending you warning signals? Margaret, 64, ignored the warning signs for months. She thought the chest tightness during her runs was just pushing through the pain. The dizziness afterward? She thought that was just dehydration. The unusual fatigue that lasted for days after her long runs? She thought it was part of training. Don't make Margaret's mistake. Your heart gives you warning signals long before it fails, but you have to know how to listen. Warning signs checklist. You are more tired than usual after exercise, and it takes longer to recover. You feel short of breath during familiar activities or wake up gasping for air. You experience chest pressure, tightness, or burning during or after exercise. You feel dizzy or lightheaded during or after workouts. You notice swelling in your ankles, feet, or legs, especially later in the day. You feel heart palpitations or irregular heartbeats. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, please don't wait. Talk to your doctor immediately. And if this information is helping you understand your symptoms better, please give this video a thumbs up to help others find this crucial information. Many people dismiss these symptoms as normal parts of aging or getting out of shape, but your heart doesn't lie. When it's struggling, it will tell you. You just need to listen. Now, before you throw in the towel on exercise completely, let me be clear. Stopping exercising is not the answer. Exercise remains one of the most powerful medicines for heart health. The key is exercising smart, not just hard. First, let's talk about timing. Remember how we discussed morning exercise risks? Your risk of heart problems is highest in the first few hours after waking up. Why? Because your blood pressure naturally surges in the morning. Your blood is thicker from dehydration, and your arteries are stiffer. Starting intense exercise during this vulnerable window is like lighting a match near a gas leak. Solution: if you're going to exercise in the morning, start with gentle movement. Take a 10 to 15 minute warm-up walk, do some light stretching, or try gentle yoga. Save any intense exercise for later in the morning or early afternoon when your cardiovascular system has had time to fully wake up. Hydration is absolutely critical, especially for people over 60. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at regulating fluid balance, and dehydration makes our blood thicker and harder for our hearts to pump. Start hydrating when you wake up, continue drinking throughout the day, and make sure you're well hydrated before any exercise. Now, let's talk about the type of exercise that actually protects your heart without risking damage. The sweet spot for cardiovascular health is moderate intensity exercise for 150 minutes per week, as recommended by the American Heart Association. This breaks down to just 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Moderate intensity means you should be able to carry on a conversation while exercising, but singing would be difficult. Think brisk walking, gentle cycling, swimming at a comfortable pace, or dancing. These activities strengthen your heart without overstressing it. Strength training is equally important and often overlooked by older adults. Building and maintaining muscle mass takes stress off your heart by making everyday activities easier. Aim for 2 sessions per week, focusing on major muscle groups. You don't need heavy weights. Resistant bands, light dumbbells, or even body weight exercises can be incredibly effective. Example routine: 3 days of brisk walking, 2 days of resistant band training, 2 days rest. Speaking of exercise routines, I would love to hear about yours. What type of exercise do you enjoy most? Share in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else find their perfect workout. Now, again, here's something crucial. Listen to your body and respect what it's telling you. If you feel unusually tired, short of breath, or experience any of the warning signs we discussed, stop exercising and rest. Your body isn't being lazy, it's being wise. Consider working with a qualified fitness professional. They can help you design a program that challenges you appropriately without pushing you into the danger zone. Many fitness professionals are now trained in medical exercise therapy and can work with your doctor to create a safe, effective program. Most importantly, get medical clearance before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have risk factors for heart disease. Your doctor might recommend an exercise stress test to see how your heart responds to physical activity. This simple test can reveal problems that might not show up during normal activities. Let's recap your heart-safe checklist. Talk to your doctor, choose smart workouts, share this with someone over 60, subscribe for more senior health tips. Remember, there's no prize for wearing out your heart faster. The goal isn't to see how much exercise you can endure. It's to find the right amount and type of exercise that keeps you healthy, happy, and independent as you age.